And well, my name is Kundoo, and most people know me by the name of Manisha because, Meenakshi and Manisha, sometimes it's very complicated. So I prefer to use Manisha. And well, I'm married to a very supportive husband, I would say. I have two daughters of 10 and 15 years, named Neisha and Trisha. And also, I would also like to say that I have a loving pet dog named Simba, which is like, the bundle of happiness of the family. And yeah, really. And on a professional profile, I'm the owner and director of Skyway Business Solutions Limited. And but still, I distinguish myself, as a human resource and administrative specialist. So maybe if, my field of expertise is human resource, but I have like 20 years of progressive experience in different fields as well, because I started with a courier service, that is DHL. Okay. Yeah, that was my very first job. And I progressed in the freight forwarding companies. I was working in the aviation sector and also in the administrative and HR field. Mm-hmm. So I also have a bit of knowledge in the ICT sector, since, mm-hmm. Our business relates to, first of all, we were proposing ICT related services, which was mm-hmm. not really my expertise. And slowly we started to implement HR services in the same shell. So that's a bit of my expertise. And yeah. And also, maybe a bit about, well, maybe you will progress with time. Yes. And there will be other questions, I guess. So I'll wait for that to come.
Definitely. Yeah. No, it was nice hearing from you about yourself. Can you tell us more about your career, though, and your job?
Well, as I would say, as the owner of a small and medium enterprise and as a dedicated entrepreneur in the HR field, I must say that right now I'm managing the company, doing all the administrative work, doing my filings, issuing invoices, managing cash flows. When you have your own business, you have got to do like just everything. Okay. Yeah. You just need to, because I don't really have so many people working with me right now because we're still mm-hmm. a small company. Sorry. So it's better to deal with everything in the very beginning. And when the business will progress slowly, then I can employ maybe some other people. I do have some people working with me, like freelancers. People helping me in the business, but that would be like just on a case-to-case basis. When I need these people, then only I ask them to help me. What I really do in my business is providing HR outsourcing services to companies. Sometimes you have got companies which are really small ones. So it's not really human resource, right? It's more about administrative work. So I help these people to put in place a system to help them to work in a very proper way, like documentation, like, sometimes you have got attendance sheet, you have got an employee data sheet, just to have everything in order so that they can work. But sometimes you do have companies already having an HR structure. So what I do then is, providing the people and professional development and training to these people. Mm-hmm. Sometimes putting in place KPIs, because some company do have their HR, but they are not really structured one. When you do daily work, the people in the company normally they do like the daily work, attendance, payroll, etc. But when it comes to training, they don't really have the time to do that. So that's where I come in the picture to just help them. And it's also important to have like an independent, like how to say that, to have another view from another person. When you are in the same company, sometimes you don't see things like I can advise them.
Definitely.
That's what I do normally. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. A variety of things.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible job. And can you tell
And
us?
also, sorry. Yes, tell
No,
me.
no, please continue.
No, I was just, I would just like to say this thing, when you are a small business, you need to provide tailor-made service. It depends upon you just can't come with one structure and put in place in every company. That won't work. Yeah, and when we are in the human resource sector, you have got lots of policies, procedures, frameworks, strategies, but it doesn't really work for all the companies. So you just need to know which is the best thing to do.
Oh,
yes,
that's amazing. And can you tell us what led you, to come into the human resources sector? What inspired you?
Yeah, that's a very long story. So maybe let's start from the beginning. When I would say just take it from like my school certificate examination. I would like to really start from the beginning, just to let you kids out there know how where it really starts. Because when you are in a profession, it doesn't really start after your bachelor degrees, etc. So sometimes it starts from the root, I guess. So for me, everything was good. Well, I was not really a very brilliant student, I would say, but I could manage. I did pass my exams, but when I was doing my school certificate examination, first year I failed. Second year I failed. Because why? Because I think I didn't choose the right subjects. I was doing like a science subject because my elder brother was doing the same subjects. And I'm talking about 30 years from now, when I was 16 years old. So we were living like in a middle class family. So if my brothers have books, so why not use the same books? So I said, why not choosing the same subjects? And maybe he will be able to help me out. But that was the mistake that I did, because that was not really the subjects that I really needed to choose. So the third year I said, why not drop the science subjects? And then I started to do arts and accounting, and that really worked out amazingly. And then I did my A level. I got my results. I didn't have to repeat again. But eventually, here at the University of Mauritius, to have a seat out there at that time, I would say that maybe you needed to have straight A's. Unfortunately, I didn't have that. Yeah, I didn't have these good results, I would say. So it was really difficult to have, if I would have gone to a private university, that would have cost me a lot. And, I come from a middle class family, like I said. My father was a lorry driver and my mother was a housewife. But still they have, my upbringing has been really amazing with values and principles. I learned all that from my father. And my mother was always here to help us out in any way she could. And then my father said to me, so, why not take up a job now? You are 20, maybe you can take up a job and then start financing maybe your studies. Yeah, I say, why not? So I start with DHL. I was living next to the airport. It's kind of like 300 to 500 meters the runway. Yeah, that was not so far. So I was always inspired by, planes or the airport. Maybe one day I would be working at the airport. So I said, okay, let's start. I start to work with DHL as a customer service agent. And then slowly I moved to the freight forwarding company. After that, after 2 years like that, I moved to an airline company, which was my dream. It's kind of a dream come true because you are slowly grabbing, like stepping forward in whatever you want to do. And then, like I said, I joined an airline company, which was IBL, Island Light Limited, a very renowned, well-known company here in Mauritius. And the airline it represented like airlines like British Airways, Air Madagascar, and Corsair Flight. We have got lots of other airlines. And I was working like the cargo operation officer at that time, dealing with the cargo that needed to be uplifted on board the aircraft, the planning, how to do the how to make that happen. So as I said, that was kind like a dream come true, but still it was a job. Like we were working on a shift systems, because when you are working with the airlines, that's how it is. You have got lots of different timings to do your job. And then in 2007, I got married. I got a baby. My first daughter was born, and then I said, no, maybe now it's time to get a break, because I always wanted to look after my daughter, my kids, myself. I didn't want to. That was something that was a decision taken by me and my husband at that time. And then I didn't work like for 5 years. I would say I stopped working like for 5 years. Still, I was like doing some works at home, but was not like a permanent job.
Right.
And then when my second daughter was born, that's when I said that maybe now it's time to get back to work, because now we are thinking about the well-being of our kids, the future of our kids, but maybe now it's time. So again, I started to work with an airline company.
Okay.
Yeah, luckily I got to the opportunity to start again with an airline company. But then I decided not to take up the operational work, because that would not fit my life, I would say, with my kids, etc. So I said, why not start in the administrative sector? Yeah, that's when slowly I started like the PA of the CEO, and then when it's a small structure, you have got, like I said, even the HR, the administrative, everything is kind of mixed. Under the it's mixed. You tend to do all the job by yourself. So I started to learn, coming from the operational sector to directly in the administrative sector. So it was kind of a bit, I would say, challenging in the beginning, but still that was I was given the opportunity to learn new things.
That's great.
And then and then in the same company, after like 3 years, I got promoted, and I was working as the group HR manager, because, like I said, in the administrative, it was a little bit of HR, but I didn't have the position, an HR position. But then when the company started to grow with over 35 employees, so then I was promoted as the group HR manager. But still, working as an HR manager is kind of challenging when you start because, working as an HR manager, I was dealing with people, right? With all the people, all the staff, all the management, all the operational level, all the management level. But sometimes I was acting like the mediator between employees and management. Sometimes, there was so many injustice, so many non-ethical thing that was happening that I didn't like it. I say, no, that's not my place. Maybe I need to move, because sometimes in life, when you do not agree to, when it's not like, it doesn't go like as per your values and principles, you just have to move out, because that's not your place. I guess, yeah, that's what I did. And then we were in 2020, and I said, I just resigned from my job without having another job at that time, because I had to take a decision. I was waiting, month after month. I said, no, maybe I need to go. And then I said, no, maybe I need to have another job. And then right away I said, no, I'm going. I'm just leaving. Yeah. So, but when I did resign, after 2 weeks, we were in full COVID lockdown here in Mauritius. It was in March 2020. So then I was having doubts if that was really the right time to resign or not. But then slowly, I even took a job, I would say like with an international company dealing with private jets. They were doing like, ambulance, things like transporting passengers from a hospital to another one, etc. So I started, and then after 6 months, I said, no, why not work for my own company on a permanent basis? Everything we need to have a start. We need to start somewhere. If we don't take the risk, we won't know if it was the good decision or not. So then I started to work for my company and implemented human resource within the same shell. So that's where everything begins. And right now I'm working with some companies providing my services, and some are small ones, some have big corporates. But as I said, each company has got their own requirements, and it's not the same everywhere. So that's a very good experience for me.
Wow, what an incredible journey, Yeah. Good thing you took the leap at the end and started your company. It was definitely worth it. Wow, what an incredible journey. Wow. Yeah, and finally, what is your advice to the next generation?
My advice would be, maybe first of all, you do not need to fear failures in life, because failures, it is not the end of the world, but you need to look at it as a new opportunity given to stand up and confront it with much more conviction and determination. And maybe secondly, people need not compare. You don't have to compare yourself with other people, because I think each individual is unique, and you have got the capacity to do things. And I would always say that one tool has not been invented yet, the tool to measure like love, pain. We don't have these tools nowadays. Because each people can have their level of they can take as much as they can, but I can take more than you, maybe you can take less than me. But that doesn't mean that I need to compare, because there's no comparison. We cannot compare to individual.
Wow.
And thirdly, I would like to say, do not get involved in the rat race, in the competition. Competition sometimes can be very cruel, but if it's a healthy competition, go for it. Because when you are in a healthy competition, it's like, when you win something, it's kind of an achievement. But when you lose something, it's an opportunity to learn further, I think. Just take that. We just need to go by this, I think, because nowadays we have got the generation, the millennials and the generation Z. We are trying to work mutually. And I will also like to, maybe even for the kids, even for the adults, go for the reverse mentoring. I advocate. I really like to companies, like when they do the reverse mentoring. Reverse mentoring is very important, because Nowadays, we are really learning from the youngsters, just like you two lovely ladies. You know, you are doing just like a wonderful job. That's the thing that we need to do. We are learning from you and you are learning from us. That's kind of a mutual respect that we are sharing. That's what we need, I think.